coming on to talk. Are you going to
introduce
him,
Sammy? Got a familiar face. So yeah, hi Josh. Hi. So you've got So you've got a mixed group here. You've got some people who are on virtually, and then we've got a room for the people who are here in person. So they can see you on the big screen in the Moorgate office, and they can hear you through the speakers. So Josh is our Senior Director for Product and Strategy around analytics and AI. He's kindly taken some of his day really to talk through how he sees the world, what Oracle are doing in terms of our own analytics and AI strategy, and to give you a bit of an insight. So yeah, Josh, I'll hand over to you if that's okay. And then we'll get going.
Works great. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic.
Let me share my screen here. You should see my presentation full screen now.
We can.
Okay, wonderful.
We're seeing the slides, not the actual presentation. We're seeing the slides on the left, 1 to 10. So we're seeing it in PowerPoint, not in presentation mode, Josh.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in Teams, and Teams client stopped working for me. So I'm in Teams in the window, in the browser version. So let me try this one more time. How about now?
It's just loading at the moment. We're just seeing everyone's faces, and that's better. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Well, in doing a bit of background reading on the project, this Project Data Analytics Task Force, I feel like I'm in friendly company here. I have spent the last 20 years doing construction and engineering technology, roughly the last 10 years, working on this challenge of how we can use data to improve outcomes in our industry. The first 10 years was around digitization of field processes. So I was co-founder of a company called Vela Systems that was acquired by Autodesk in 2012 and became BIM 360. So if you're familiar with the Autodesk BIM 360 platform, that was where I got my start. And now the last 10 years have been, well, how can we take the increasingly digital data that we have and use it in our industry? I'm very pleased to be at Oracle. Oracle acquired the AI startup that I was a part of back in November of 2022. And they've given me the very fun job of being head of product strategy around AI, working across the Oracle stack. So, Sammy, my understanding is I have about half an hour here. As you know from hearing me talk, I can talk for hours on this topic. I have a lot of passion and interest in it. But let me just tactically make sure that timing aligns with what we got.
Josh, yeah, absolutely no problem at all. And then hopefully, plenty of time for questions. So yeah, talk away and enjoy it.
Perfect. Okay. So in the topic of AI, I like, having been at it for a bit in our industry, I like to demystify it a bit just to start and talk about the AI revolution that actually started now 14 years ago in 2011. Convolutional neural networks had been around for a long time. The introduction of GPUs, super powerful in-memory compute, finally made it that what's called the the ImageNet Visual Recognition Challenge was actually won in 2011 for the first time by a convolutional neural network powered solution. So ImageNet, if you're not familiar with it, is an annual competition of academic groups and large corporations like Microsoft and Google and Oracle and others to try and analyze a standard set of thousands of images, everything from dogs, even dog species subcategories to things like objects, etc. Computer vision eventually passed human perception a few years later, outperforming our own ability as humans. A fun fact you can take away from this presentation, if you like, as humans, if you give us 100 images, we usually get about 5 of them wrong in terms of classification. So our internal error rate is about 5% in terms of images, which I always think it's kind of interesting to think about. So what did that mean for us? Well, it's translated into us all having AI in our pockets. So if you look at the photo management capability on your iPhone, in iOS, or on Android, there's now computer vision AI that powers your search. So you don't have to scroll back looking through photos. You can actually just type in something like beach, or if you like drinking beer, as I do, and take pictures of the cans, you can just type in the word beer and it's going to find that image. That particular feature it is something we all have right now. This whole concept of AI, Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO, he described it as, if you read the quote there, one of the most important things humanity is working on. It's more profound than electricity or fire. He actually made this quote not recently with Gen AI, but back in 2014, after computer vision and these breakthroughs in convolutional neural networks happened. For us, it's translated into photo search, but for Sundar back then, even then, the hype was huge, right? Is photo search more important than electricity or fire? I'm not sure. Now we have the most recent advance here, which is ChatGPT, fastest product to 1 million users in the history of the internet, getting there in 5 days. We have a similar kind of hype cycle we're in with large language model powered AI, for good reason. There's massive capabilities there, but I think in our industry, in construction and engineering, it's really important for us to take away some of the hype and focus on the actual end uses, the use cases that we can deliver. And that's what I'm going to do in the presentation. Against this backdrop, we as Oracle, the 174,000 person company, are making massive investments in AI. So please don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. I'm not saying that what's happening in AI isn't massively important or valuable. Oracle is spending billions on expanding data centers, rolling out sovereign and native cloud in new locations like Japan, adding deep Gen AI features into our software. I'll show you an example of this for the scheduling world in a bit. And then increasing our partnerships, because in the world of AI, data is king, and our customers, particularly in AEC, they use a fair amount of Microsoft, as well as other data platforms. We have a multi-cloud strategy. As my grandmother might say, $10 billion here, $8 billion there. Pretty soon you're talking real money. So Oracle, we're really putting our money where our mouth is when it comes to AI. And we get to use that AI in our products. So you may think to yourself, so Josh, why did you start talking about AI and then use an example of photo search? Well, that example of AI being built into an application, in essence, it is the core part of the Oracle AI strategy. Oracle's massive investments in the technology of AI, generative AI models, our everything from computer vision to natural language processing, agentic AI. We bake those into our products themselves. This is a slide that shows that virtuous cycle of having specific applications that feed models and create data that then helps the application actually perform better. We bring AI inside as a part of the Oracle AI approach, so that, back to my original example, we may be thinking a lot about generative AI and prompts today, but as I'll show you in a minute, generative AI can be just a part of the applications we use. When you think about, by the way, given I'm remote here, I'll go through the presentation and then I'm happy to take questions at the end. If you think about where large language models fit into the evolution of AI, with generative AI and now with a big emphasis on agentic AI, LLMs are unlocking and interacting with the other AI-based technologies to create new opportunities for features. On the Gen AI side, there's a bunch of author assisting and summarization. Agentic AI, we're starting to see some really interesting combinations of LLMs actually carrying out logic and reasoning, and then interacting with other, you can think of them as RPA or robotic process automation workflows to actually take action on specific tasks and even interact with other agents. All of these are being built into Oracle products today. So what is the Oracle product stack for construction and engineering? In the time I've been at Oracle, which is a little over 2 years now, there's been, every month, there's increased emphasis and coordination and collaboration across the entire Oracle stack. We are indeed a large company, and that has a lot of advantages to it, in that we deliver from the bottom level up the entire stack. So our products in construction and engineering are built on top of the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So all the investments, the 10 billion here, 8 billion there, all those investments wind up being utilized by our product teams. We also benefit from things like Oracle Cloud's Azure Interconnect, things like the Oracle Integration Cloud for cross-product integration, as well as integration to other data sources. We as Oracle also have a whole set of back office applications that are actually tuned to construction and engineering. There is an entire team of construction and engineering domain knowledge folks. That's actually why I just came on the call when I did at the top of the hour. I was on a joint call with the Fusion team that do back office, everything from finance to human capital management to supply chain management. What you traditionally think of as horizontal ERP software, it's done at Oracle through the lens of industry groups. So there's a construction and engineering industry group that's really focused on this whole back office application side. And then last but not least, the group that I'm a part of, and that Sammy's a part of, is Oracle Construction and Engineering focused applications. You can think of them as field or operations applications. So these are things like Primavera P6 for scheduling, Oracle Primavera Cloud for scheduling, Aconex for construction management and document controls, Unifier, Textura for payments. All of those products fit within this Oracle Construction and Engineering field or operations segment. And on top of that is what we call the Construction Intelligence Cloud, harvesting all the data from the bottom of the stack all the way to the top and applying AI to it in a baked-in, embedded manner. So the specifics of the various applications tie together for construction and engineering in something we call the Smart Construction Platform. I won't spend a lot of time on it other than to say that it's not just our own application data, it's also data from other sources and applications tying together to deliver insights and intelligence, both descriptive as well as predictive insights, all leveraging the power of AI. When you map AI, as I said at the beginning, it's less about the technology and it's more about its use. When you map it to our industry, it helps make what is the puzzle of AI and how it can apply to our industry, helps make it a little bit more clear. So I use a puzzle analogy here to tie together the different outcomes that you can get from AI, whether it's generating materials, doing prescriptive, descriptive, and predictive actions, risk management, etc. I think, as I've mentioned a couple times now, it's more useful for our industry as we talk about what the outcomes are and how you can use the AI versus the technology itself. Gen AI, which has a ton of power, is just one of a number of AI technologies that can all play together to deliver the outcomes in this puzzle. So let's take the puzzle apart and let's look at how we can map these puzzle pieces to what we do in our industry. You think of this as being a very simple heuristic or framework for mapping the AI outcomes to how we deliver our projects and programs. So at the bottom left, you have individual contributors who might be automating a task with AI. Great example here is the concept of invoice processing. So AI can read an invoice, it can parse it. The AI is coming into play where it actually can recognize the title blocks. It's not just OCR. There's actually some really cool AI technologies at play there. generative materials actually helping to take time out of the process. So again, automating an individual contributor's work, generating value-added materials. I'm going to show an example here of something we're working on now, which is schedule generation using generative AI. And then last but not least, in the upper right, you have risk management with predictive and prescriptive outcomes, where this is helping an executive, maybe it's a project manager, maybe it's the VP of risk, helping them make better decisions. An example here is predictive safety, something near and dear to my heart, where we built and have deployed and in production now predictive models that are helping companies save millions of dollars a year because they're better able to target those projects that have the highest risk of safety incidents. So on the bottom left, you have saving 7 minutes, per invoice. And the upper right here, you have saving $7 million a year in terms of avoided safety costs and risks and reduced insurance. So you can map this all out in terms of specific outcomes: project memo writing, summarization of projects, generating baseline schedules, et cetera, even up to predicting project delays, which is something we're working on as well now. When I say we're working on it, we're working on these various predictive ideas as a part of a product called the Construction Intelligence Cloud. So the Construction Intelligence Cloud, or the CIC for short, has as its mission creating predictive mission control for our industry, getting from a place of being reactive to being proactive in the areas of safety, schedule, collaboration, quality, and cost. What does that look like? Well, let me show you an example. So each of these pillars pulls in data from various products, whether it's Oracle products or third-party products, transforms that data, and then presents it as predictive models. The way it works in the user interface is that each week there is a run of the predictive model. It could run more frequently, daily, let's say, based on the flow of the data. And that predictive model is ranking your projects from riskiest to least risky. In this case, it's the safety risk forecast. So it's using the dimension of safety. Here we can see this project voice tower. It jumped 11 spots from last week. I'm interested in finding out why. Why did the AI predict voice tower was now my second riskiest project? Let's click on it. When I click on it, it then shows me how it's using underlying both structured and unstructured data to help generate this AI-powered predictive intelligence. It's looking at things like my rolling weekly incident rate. It's combining data from my safety observation system with either my dailies or my payroll system or both to do things like observations per worker hour. It's also looking at unstructured data like photos. It's pulling things like images that are from the job site, so progress photos, and looking for things like work at height. So if I click on the work at height, it takes me to the image and it shows me what was seen in computer vision. There's an extension ladder showing that there's specific work at height going on. I can also do things like click on exposed hole and it's going to show me where the hole is and use that again as an indicator of risk. These computer vision based tags we have found to be very powerful in terms of helping with the predictability. It actually can increase model performance in a significant way. But it's not required. So if you don't have photos, that's fine. We can still be using the structured data to generate the safety predictive risks. That's an example of the upper right. So think of it as AI-powered decision support, helping focus attention on the riskiest projects, in that case, through the lens of safety. We have in that example, there's public webinars. For example, Suffolk Construction reduced their incident rate by 57% by moving to that approach. Bolt Construction here in the US, they reduced their workers' compensation costs per year by 75%, which they disclosed in a case study with Dodge Data and Analytics. On the bottom left, I had talked about automation and embedding AI in our workflows. I'm going to show you now an example of how we're using Oracle's tools like generative AI embedded into our products. The photo I have here is that it's me. You can see I'm I'm actually not that short. This guy, Greg Pavlik, I'm on stage with, he's just very tall. I'm average height, let's just say that. So Greg is the head of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which is that bottom tier I was showing. It's the Oracle technology stack for powering cloud products, our cloud products, as well as those of our customers. So Greg and I are presenting an example of how Gen AI can be used in this process automation manner to streamline the creation of a schedule for a contractor. So I have a demo here showing how this works as we've been building out this capability that will be a part of Oracle Primavera Cloud coming up this year. What it does is it reads an RFP, pulls out key data, which you see highlighted in this example, things like how big the job is in terms of square footage, what some of the key dates are, what the project type and delivery method are. All of that is then analyzed and then pulled into a specific summary that then has that, I'm going to just speed this up a little bit, has all that project data extracted out. So you can see the project name, the owner, the delivery method, contract type, etc. This RFP summary is then used in the next hop as it goes and then populates, just accelerate this up here, goes and populates, you see the generate schedule button there. It then populates a schedule within Oracle Primavera Cloud. So what it's doing here is it's generating a set of activities based on the project type, the delivery method, the description actually of the project overall. You can see that this is a hospital renovation project, and it's defining the activities at a level 1 work breakdown structure. So this is not a construction ready schedule. It's a pre-bid schedule generated automatically off of the RFP that then has an activity list defined by the project information and then has as hard constraints dates brought in from the RFP as well. So you get a set of activities, you get a set of dates, and then you as the scheduler can go in and then update those and update things like the durations based on your knowledge of your means and methods and your ability to deliver the work. So that's a great example. Let me go back to full screen. That's a great example of us embedding AI into our products. I think as one of my last slides for reflection here, and I know I'm talking to the right group. There's a lot of thinking about where are we as an industry, and where is each of the companies here in their journey. We at Oracle and I myself personally would love to partner with you in our industry as we look to move from the bottom left of having application data be siloed to starting to integrate it across sources and then ultimately use it for better predictive and prescriptive intelligence. We're going to be embedding AI in our products, just like we now have photo search on our phones. We're going to have generative AI generating schedules for us. You're not going to have to go and do a prompt or figure any of that stuff out. It's just going to be in the product itself. At the same time, we are investing heavily in the construction intelligence cloud to help move our industry to being less reactive, more predictive, and more prescriptive, also using the power of AI. As an example of how we like to engage with our customers, I'm going to invite everyone to come over the pond, cross over to this side of the pond, join us in Nashville. We're having a construction and technology specific summit called Customer Edge. I'll be presenting there alongside my colleagues from construction and engineering. It's March 2nd through 4th in Nashville, Tennessee. Nice time to be in Nashville. Maybe get out of the UK. Although it can be nice in March in London too. And join us as we partner on this journey to build out both the embedded use cases of AI, which I believe will come to rely on as much as we rely on photo search, as well as these new extended capabilities of AI to take us to a world of less reacting and more proactive program and project management. So with that, I'll stop my presentation and stop sharing so I can see everybody's faces, and happy to have questions.
Josh, thank you very much indeed for that. I've just come back here just so again, people online who need to listen via my microphone. For everyone in this room, what I would like to do now to invite questions is ask you to come up here because you need to talk into this microphone for it to be on the recording and everything else. If you've got a specific question for Josh. Is there anyone who wants to leap up and be the first one? Yes, please do come up, and you're going to have to literally stand here. And then if you just start with your name and then your question.
Yes. Hello, my name is
talking into
Oleg.
the-
Yes, and I'm not familiar with Oracle ecosystem. I've got one question. How the AI staff that you described for the construction industry and request for proposals are connected with the Fusion ERP system? So is it a part of this ERP system? Do you have several verticals? So
Yeah,
how
great
it
question.
works then? Thank
Yeah,
you.
so actually, yeah, I think I mentioned I was actually just on a call with the Fusion team before this. So the Fusion ERP ecosystem has the same strategy of embedding AI. So you'll find things within the Fusion ecosystem that allow you to, for example, on the HR side, these are all features, by the way, that are live in production now. You can, as a part of doing a human resources feedback, you can use Gen AI to combine different lateral feedbacks together and put them into one consolidated managerial feedback. So in term to your question about Fusion and the RFP summarization pieces, the Fusion layer is the back office layer, which was that middle layer. And then we have our construction and engineering applications like Oracle Primavera Cloud, which is a scheduling application that interface with Fusion as well. So you can, pass schedule objects back and forth and things like that at the integration layer.
Does that answer your question? Anybody else? James, do you want to come up and again talk into my computer's microphone?
Hi, Josh. Thank you so much. That's really, really interesting. It's amazing to see what companies like Oracle are doing. And I can see a future, like you say, where a lot of the grunt work that we've had to do is going to become automated, which is brilliant. But how do we protect against losing our knowledge? So, in the UK, we've got various institutions, the APM, RICS. I know you've got the PMI in America, for instance, and we take the professionalism, what we do, really, really seriously. Is there a danger? And this is a devil's advocate question on purpose. I mean, I'm a great believer in AI, but I'm asking this question on purpose just to start a debate. Is there a danger that we water down what we do, and the big companies like yourself, Oracle, and the Autodesks and the Microsoft of this world kind of take over, and then we lose something. We lose that professionalism somehow. It's the one thing I'm very, very worried about, because it's one of those things, once it's gone, it's gone. We've seen it happen in other industries. So I'll just be really interested in your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think in our industry, ultimately, engineers and architects need to stamp drawings, right? Contractors need to sign contracts around the delivery of a specific project with a given scope at a certain budget with a given schedule. Though no one is ever we are humans building real things in the world with real contractual requirements that are not going to go away. I think the interesting wrinkle here is to what extent the work products that are on the way to delivering, for example, that stamp drawing, which has to be stamped by a person, right, with their own certification and seal, which gets renewed. How much of that is AI assisted? And the part that I spend a lot of time thinking about, and that the industry is we're spending a lot of time thinking about, is how do you make sure that the interactions that happen between the professional who's doing a work product and the AI that's helping them deliver that work product, how do you manage the interactions between those two so that we as professionals don't, for lack of a better term, don't just push okay on the AI generated answers and not actually own the output, which we are then legally responsible for. It's that whole what percentage is this work product AI? This concept of in the EU, you guys may be very familiar with this. There's concepts of watermarking. There's concepts of AI generation in terms of percentages. I'm not really sure how that's all going to play out, but to me, that's the really interesting question. Like, okay, how much did AI help do this? And did a person, how much did a human actually validate it?
Does that answer your question, James?
Yeah, I think it's a huge that whole thing's a huge debate, but it's
Yeah.
something we could probably do another session on just on that.
James is saying we could probably do another session just literally on that topic alone.
I will do that, but only if we can also have a pint at the same time.
Done. But you've got to come this way.
Fair enough.
Any other questions? Please come to the front, say who you are, and you're talking into the microphone in there.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that one's going online. This one's just
Sorry. Hello, Joseph. Thank you for your good presentation today, evening session. So I'm just came from Cambridge. So I'm studying machine learning AI. So recently, so I'm trying to research use case of LLM, so AI metrics. So I have a question actually. Trying to figure out what are the key business challenges are you facing opportunity last few years, and what's the metrics do you consider most critical for evaluation success?
Let me say the question back to you to see if I understood it. What are the key business challenges that LLMs can solve, and what are our metrics for success?
Yeah, what's the market gap at the moment? Do you think LLM? So what's the metrics? Do you consider most critical part of evaluation?
What's the market gap, and what metrics do I think are most critical for evaluation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're still just scratching the surface in terms of how LLMs can help us automate processes and generate materials for us. I'm very interested in seeing how this new wave of what's called agentic AI starts to play out, where the LLM is playing the role of the logic. It's the brains of how to then carry out a bunch of tasks on behalf of an actor, a user.
Okay. So, yeah.
I think metrics of success ultimately in AI come down to the classic stuff of, precision and recall. Like the concept of accuracy and reliability are really critical. I come back to the fact that as humans, if you give us 100 photos, we're going to get 5 of them wrong. Just basic stuff like, do you see an elephant in this photo? Yes. Nope. Wasn't there. AI actually gets held to a much higher standard. Like I can tell you, when you feed in the area of safety, for example, a 5% error rate is unacceptable, right? So it needs to be better than a human is at the intended task is my metric of success.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Abdul. Yes, please come forward and then introduce yourself, say where you've come from, and
while they come forward, I'm going to close my window here. It's a bit bright.
Okay, that's just rubbing it in now. Shouldn't be allowed to say that.
Yeah, we're not getting much
It's also way below freezing.
So it's my microphone in there, which is for the recording. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, thank you. My name is Opeyemi. I was just wondering, are there any tools you've built yet that's going to help the little guy in the construction industry, help them get into it and move fast?
Yeah, are there any tools we've built that are going to impact which part? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Which part of the construction industry?
Well, any part. Is there any tools you've built that help?
Yeah, so I would just reflect on some of the stuff that I just showed, right? So we built AI tools that are helping you to generate a schedule. As one scheduler said, that used to take me 7 hours, I can now do in 7 minutes. So massive time savings there. And then the AI in the areas of things like, if you think of the key areas of construction delivery risk, it's safety, quality, cost, schedule, and you could call collaboration a fifth one. And we have predictive models built for safety, and we're working on the others right now.
Does that answer your question, Naveen?
Hi, I'm Naveen Latif from WSP. So as a purchaser of software, I engage with lots of smaller companies, smaller AI companies. So what would Oracle's differentiator be over me engaging with 2 or 3 smaller companies that can give me everything I need for schedule AI versus what Oracle's building?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for your question. I've been in software for 25 years myself. You're a purchaser, I'm a builder. So I've been building software for 25 years. 22 of those years have been at startups. So being at a big company is new to me. And the first thing I would say would be keep working with startups. That it's a great ecosystem, and I think it's great to encourage innovation. At the same time, there are benefits. Some things that are startups, are destined to be features of products as opposed to whole companies. And I think particularly in the area of AI and analytics, that line is going to shift over time. And you'll be getting, just like you have AI search for photos, just to beating that to death, as an analogy. You're going to have some of these capabilities that today are offered through startups will be offered just in the platforms you may use today.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Naveen. Can I ask you to come up? Because yes, you had your hand up some time ago. So it's the microphone in there which Josh can hear.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm here because Oracle is a client, and I just want to know more about Oracle and the business that you do. So I wanted to ask, are there any use cases wherein AI has been used to help enterprises migrate into Oracle's platform? For context, for example, for enterprises in the connectivity infrastructure industry, it takes years to complete projects, and it may require keeping legacy systems while they migrate. So, for data governance reasons. For context, we did an overhaul migration to a different system, although it's more of a CRM, but than ERP, because there were AI benefits. But setting it up was it caused major disruptions, revenue impacting disruptions for us. So I was just wondering if Oracle has done something with AI to help accelerate those things. Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. There's a lot of work going on at Oracle to bake AI into the tools that we use to build our own software and to help configure our own tools. So there's something called the Oracle AI Assist for code. So it's AI code assist that can help take a lot of time out of generating code in that process. So that's one example of where it could help perhaps shrink the overall time required to do that transition.
Okay. How about flexibility in terms of let's say different entities would have to use the same platform and they all have different cardinality. Have you done something about that?
There's plenty of AI around trying to make different systems match, using fuzzy matching and genetic algorithm, all those kinds of things. I haven't seen Gen AI, the most recent, kid on the block. I haven't seen Gen AI used in that kind of situation, because Gen AI it's good at creating things, and it's good at pulling things out using what's called retrieval augmented generation if it already exists. In terms of making sense of massive amounts of data, I haven't, and matching it up, I haven't seen use cases for Gen AI there. You could theoretically, if you abstracted everything out and you have a new way of interacting with a software, which is what you sometimes see these Gen AI chatbots used for, you could have multiple systems that it's pulling from. That might be a way to streamline the user interaction piece, where instead of forcing all three systems together, you just keep them separate, and then you have a Gen AI chat-based interface on top of it that's just looking at all three, and you you abstract out the whole concept of a UI. That's something that is, I think really interesting as a concept.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, my name is Martin. I'm also from the field of AI. I'm doing a little AI startup, and we just entered construction industry. I just want to build on something that James was talking about, which is I would very much like to hear your perspective of how you feel Oracle products themselves are going to evolve once all this magical AI functionality comes into play. Because really, when we started, we understood that people really like P6, for instance, as opposed to Microsoft Project, because they felt it was a very robust and very complete system. That like the data model was almost the main differentiator, where people felt like if you're really a professional in your field, Microsoft Project is not going to give you the rich enough data model, and on P6 would, right? So how do you see P6, which keeps this differentiator, but then all the UI is maybe abstracted away from with a bunch of AI interactions that are doing both input and also representation of output to the user?
Yeah, so schedulers have a very particular set of needs and workflows, right? So that persona is gonna need a UI, and they need Gantt charts, and they need predecessor and successor relationships and scheduling logic, or to support a variety of different workflows. How other personas interact with schedule data is, I think, a very open and fertile ground for how AI can work. Generating summaries, having more conversational interfaces with your schedule, similar to the last question where we were just talking about it, where for certain kinds of users who need to think of it as ask a question to your schedule, that can get very easily abstracted away from any particular product or UI.
And your demo is also features the editing functionality. Is that for the scheduler as well, or is it also somebody on the outer circle?
It's actually a pretty complicated answer to that question. It really depends on the project, and it depends on the kind of scheduling, and in some cases, what's called lean construction practices that they may have in place. Managing things like tasks and other field activities that then sometimes can update the actual schedule itself, but not all the time.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll take the one at the back and then come to you. Thank you.
Hi, Josh. Sorry. Thank you for the interesting presentation. I'm Angelo from Circulant. The examples that you gave and the focus areas are really good in terms of safety, very important. But do you have any examples or use cases in terms of sustainability, as the construction industry and the built environment is one of the biggest problems that we face right now with the environment? And how can it help us with our 2030 and 2050 targets?
Yeah. So sustainability is actually in that graphic I showed. It's one of the areas on the list for us to be looking at, sort of predictive sustainability. Within the Oracle family of products, we plug into sustainable, think of it as manufacturing. So building products themselves have a whole bunch of sustainability data about them. And when you're doing different design trade-offs in Oracle tools, you can pull that data in and to actually see the trade-offs around different sustainable outcomes and goals. And then you can visualize them. We actually have some sustainability-oriented visualizations in the descriptive analytics that we have. So you can see how the material choices you're making, as well as your construction practices, how that results in your think of it as your sustainability footprint.
Excellent.
By the
Thank
way,
you.
there's a whole bunch of ways to look at that, right? Embodied carbon and pollution, all the good stuff.
And do you have a roadmap for those sort of things in material passports and product passports and so on?
Yeah, not in the products that I manage. So I'm more on the AI and analytics front, but in the supply chain management side of things, whether it's in Fusion or in, for example, our Aconex product, they do.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, do you want to come up?
As you're coming up, I'm going to grab some more water.
Okay, so which microphone?
Well, the microphone there is the one that he can hear.
Smashing.
This is just for in the room here.
I'll wait for him to get back, but I'll do my intro. So my name is Martin Kelly. I'm from Pythian. We're an Oracle partner. If you can guess why we have that name, I'll buy you a beer. It's a terrible pun. Harry, you're not allowed. You already know the answer. All right, so my question is kind of a practitioner question. It might be a little bit dull. De-risking large construction projects prior to the current technical revolution has been largely about baseline of data. We built 40 ports, we built 40 airports, and you decompose that data, and that baseline is what you use to de-risk it. Unfortunately, that's created a moat in that practice for large consultancies who get to do that over and over again. And I was wondering if CIC is designed to consume that baseline data, or does it build it in? Is it a force multiplier for the moat, or is it democratizing it?
Sure. It looks like you're looking somewhere else. Is that the question for me? Yes.
Sorry,
or is
that was for you, Josh. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I didn't know if you were asking someone in the room. So yeah, it is a democratizer. What we do, and I'll use the safety model as an example. The predictive model for safety was built on 2,500 years of outcome data across many project types and across many geographies. So we have two different modes. You can decide if you want to be a part of that broader data set, or you can decide if you don't want to be. Those that do want to be a part of that broader data set get to benefit more from model updates and features like benchmarking.
So solves the particular annoying problem I've had for years and years, where once you leave a particular place, you don't have that baseline data anymore. Is that built into most of the models that you use? Are you consuming like public baseline data for it and then building it in, or is that just for the safety?
Right now, it's just safety, and we'll be working on that for the other models as well.
Wonderful. That's really encouraging to hear. Thanks very much, Josh, and thanks for the presentation.
Are you going to tell us why your company is called?
Give us a clue. All right. So, do you know what Oracle's named after? The Oracle of Delphi. Pythia was the Oracle of Delphi. Sorry. We're 27 years old, so we're allowed to have groany Oracle-related names. You should have asked Josh. Sorry. Anyway, thanks very much. Nice.
Any other questions? Were you standing up for a question or to? Yes, please. So it's the computer microphone that Josh is hearing you through.
Hi there, Stevie Downer from Turner and Townsend. We're a consultancy that recommends systems and ways of working and new technologies to clients. How do you procure these use cases? Do you have to buy enterprise licenses to the CIC, or do you need to have Unifier and P6 and all that? And how do clients buy it from us or from you?
Great. Yeah, great question. And you have someone there in the room who can also help you in Sammy, as he's on the account management side. The short answer is the CIC is a product. It's a SKU like any that you would buy from Oracle. And then if you want to tie it to other data sources like Unifier or Aconex, then yes, you would buy those SKUs. But you don't have to buy anything new outside of the CIC to use it. So if you already have Aconex, it can tie to your Aconex. If you already have Primavera P6 or OPC, it can tie into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just met your CIO, by the way. Turner and Townsend.
So, yep. So Josh can hear you through that speaker.
Hi, Josh, myself, Kai. Thank you for today. So I recently finished my master's in AI, and you already touched based on AI agents, and there's a lot of bubble going on there. So recently there has been a talk by Satya Nadella about this CRUD system. So basically any software's product or a service is basically based on create, read, update, and delete with some bit of sophistication on the UX side. So how Oracle is getting prepared for AI agents? The second question is, if AI agents are going to take over, there are already companies building a database of AI agents. So recently I attended a hackathon by Fetch AI. So they just like building AI agents of all sorts. So whenever you want an action, so the agents just orchestrate it for you. So you don't need to depend on a single software to do some action. So it could pretty much do anything that you want with in the internet. So what's Oracle's position on AI agents, and are they being prepared, or is there anything happening inside Oracle? So, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that last one first. Yes. So we're huge fans of AI agents. We have an agentic framework that is a part of what we can deploy in our Fusion framework, as well as other frameworks. So we're really excited about that. Yeah, there's certain folks who think that, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Mark Andreessen, or might have been Ben Horowitz, one of those guys in their podcast. They were talking about the death of enterprise software, and that agentic AI is going to replace everything. I don't agree with that. And by the way, I'm not giving Oracle's position. This is Josh Kanner's position. I am not authorized to give any official Oracle position on anything. So don't take it as the Oracle position. I'll just tell you from my industry experience with 25 years in software, there's always going to be need to help walk a user through a process, and just staring at a prompt doesn't help you make sure you get the right stuff and required fields and required workflows and all that stuff. So I don't think software is going away.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
One more question regarding the economic models that will arrive in 2025, 2026 regarding ERP systems. What's your vision of new pricing structures? So it will not be per seat, it will be kind of per usage, share of the profit, kind of dollars per transaction, like all these Agentforce guys are doing. So what's your vision regarding how ERP systems will be sold to enterprises?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I have no insight into that. So I don't want to even respond because I don't know what to say. I know from chatting with because I'm not in the Fusion ERP team, so I have no idea what they're doing in terms of pricing.
Okay. Josh, I think we're going to have to wind that up. I'd like to extend a massive thank you to you. Your presentation generated a whole heap of questions. I had about 6 all of my own, which I still want to ask you, and I didn't have a chance, and I'm not going to ask them now. But it stimulated that discussion. It stimulated the questions in the room. For those online, I'm really sorry. I should have said, if you want to ask a question, put up your hand, but it's sort of too late. But if you do have any questions, please put them into chat, and we will pass them on to Josh and get answers and bring those forward. For those who are in the room, I'm going to just put that QR code up. Could you please scan that, please do, and that is the task force.
That's actually it's the newsletter that and the podcast that the task force does.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to find out more, we do a weekly digest, and then we do a podcast. We get some great people from the task force and the coalition on the podcast that comes out once a week. So
a weekly digest and a newsletter will come out, and there'll be some stuff coming up from the recording that we've taken from this as well. So please do sign up there and put that on your phone. So thank you for that. And Josh, just to say thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk to us. Very kind. Sammy, thank you for staying and